Emeka lay sprawled on the cold tiled floor of his dining room, his body unnaturally stiff and lifeless. Across the room, Chika, his wife of 5 years, lounged effortlessly on the couch, her legs crossed and her phone set to speaker. A slow, triumphant smile curled on her lips, as if she just hit the jackpot. "It's done, Mama," Chika said with a smug grin, her voice oozing satisfaction. The fool is finally out of the way. On the other end of the call, Mama Chika's raspy voice carried a sinister calm. "I told you Baba's powers never fail. Quick, clean, and final." Chika let out a low, triumphant laugh. "It was like clockwork, Mama." "Good," Mama said sharply. "Now pay attention. Gather everything. Titles, keys, bank details. Leave nothing behind." "Relax, Mama," Chika assured, brimming with confidence. "I know exactly where he keeps it all." "Perfect," Mama replied. "Once you've secured everything, call his useless mother and put on a show. I'm on my way. We need to disappear before anyone suspects." Unbeknownst to them, Emeka was far from gone. Though his body lay still, his mind was wide awake. He didn't flinch, didn't blink. Playing dead was his only chance to uncover the truth. But as their conversation unfolded, the secrets he uncovered were even darker than he had imagined. Let me take you back to where it all began. Years ago, Emeka had been a struggling medical student, brilliant, yet weighed down by financial difficulties. Through those trying times, his lifeline was Fumi, his devoted secondary school sweetheart. Fumi wasn't academically inclined, but her gifted hands could weave magic with hair. After finishing school, her parents supported her in opening a modest hair salon, which quickly blossomed into the most popular spot in town. Against all odds, Fumi devoted herself to fueling Emeka's dream of becoming a doctor. She spent her hard-earned money on his tuition, clothes, and made sure he never went hungry. Without fail, Emeka would swing by her salon every weekend to pick up neatly packed containers of homemade meals before heading back to campus. Fumi didn't just take care of Emeka, she looked after his aging mother as well. She cleaned, cooked, and ensured Mama Emeka was comfortable. Mama Emeka's eyes would light up whenever Fumi visited. "Ah, my daughter-in-law," she would exclaim, her voice full of warmth and pride. "Thank God for you, Fumi. The day Emeka marries you, I swear, it will be the happiest day of my life." Everyone believed that Fumi and Emeka were destined for a happy life together. Emeka and Fumi had a love that seemed unbreakable. On many quiet evenings, they would sit together, dreaming of their future. Emeka would speak with determination, his voice full of conviction. "I'm going to become a doctor, Fumi," he'd say, his eyes burning with ambition. "One day, I'll make sure you have everything you deserve. No more worries, no more struggle." Fumi would smile, her heart racing with hope. "You're my queen," he'd whisper, gently cupping her face. "I will forever worship the ground you walk on. When I've made it, you'll never have to lift a finger, unless you want to. I'll always take care of you, my love. And that's a promise." Fumi believed every word, her heart swelling with hope for the future they had planned together. Years later, Emeka finally graduated from medical school. He was overjoyed when he received a scholarship for a 2-year residency in the USA, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. However, his excitement was short-lived. The scholarship only covered part of the costs, and Emeka didn't have the funds to make the trip. He sank into despair, often moping around, unable to hide his disappointment. Seeing him like this broke Fumi's heart. She knew how much this meant to him, so she made a decision. Without telling him, Fumi sold the gold jewelry her late mother had left her, her most prized possession. When she handed the money to Emeka, his eyes filled with tears. "You did this for me?" he asked, his voice trembling. "Yes," Fumi said softly. "I can't stand to see you so unhappy. This is your dream, Emeka. Go and make it a reality." Emeka pulled her into a tight embrace. I will never forget this, he whispered. You're my angel, Fumi. I promise I will always treat you right. How did I get so lucky to have you? You're God sent. Emeka had left for the USA with a heart full of gratitude and promises of undying love. In those early days, everything seemed perfect. Their long distance relationship felt like it could withstand anything. He called often, sharing stories of his new life, his excitement for the future they had always dreamed of. But as the months dragged on, something began to change. The calls grew fewer. The messages Fumi sent on WhatsApp and Facebook were often left unanswered. She found herself staring at her phone, waiting for that familiar notification that never came. Worried, Fumi tried again, dialing his number one evening, her voice shaking with concern. Babe, what's happening? I haven't heard from you in over a month. I see you online, posting and responding to messages, but you're not responding to my messages. Is everything okay? Are we okay? Emeka's voice came through, cold and dismissive. Fumi, how many times do I have to explain this? I'm busy, very busy. I'm in a different time zone, and I'm trying to get settled here. You know I love you, but I can't talk all the time. When I have time, I'll call. Please take care of yourself. Before she could say anything else, the line went dead. Fumi stood there, her hand still gripping the phone, her heart sinking. She couldn't understand it. Fumi had a terrible feeling she couldn't shake off. A week later, Fumi sat in the quiet of her hair salon. Her phone buzzed, pulling her from her thoughts. It was Ada, her longtime friend. Fumi, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. If you're standing, please sit. I don't know how to say this, but I think you need to know, Ada said, her voice shaking. Fumi's heart raced. What could this be about? Ada hesitated but continued. I'm sorry, Fumi. I'm at Christ the King Church and Emeka is getting married. Fumi froze. Married? Emeka? The same Emeka who had been in the USA just yesterday, chatting with her like nothing had changed? Her mind spun in disbelief, but she had to see it for herself. Fumi rushed to the church, her heart pounding with every step. As she arrived, the sight before her shattered her world. There was Emeka, her Emeka, looking dashing in a perfectly tailored suit, walking arm in arm with the stunning bride, beaming with joy. Before she could approach, Emeka's mother intercepted her, dragging her to the side. Emeka soon joined them, guilt plastered across his face. Fumi, I'm sorry you had to find out this way, Emeka began sheepishly, his eyes avoiding hers. We've grown apart, and honestly, I only see you as a sister now. I didn't know how to tell you. Fumi's heart pounding in her chest. What did you just say? Me, a sister? When did I become a sister to you, Emeka? After everything Before she could finish, Emeka's mother's voice cut her off. Shut your dirty mouth before I shut it for you. So, you helped him, and so what? Are you the only one who's ever helped someone? Fumi recoiled as each word landed like an insult. Take a good look at yourself, Fumi, she continued, sneering. Does Emeka look like he belongs to your class? A medical doctor, Fumi, a whole doctor. And you think you deserve him? Mechanics and plumbers are in abundance. Now, that would suit you best. The venom in her words left Fumi stunned. This was the same woman who had once treated her like a daughter. She turned to Emeka one last time, tears streaming down her face. I leave you to God, she said bitterly. His mother scoffed. Leave him to God? Who else is there to leave him to? You'd better leave before I show you what happens when you cross me, you filthy low-class girl. Fumi walked away, her heart shattered and her spirit crushed. Back in the present, Emeka's heart broke as he listened to Chika's cold words. This was the same woman he had chosen over Fumi, the woman who had sacrificed everything for him. He realized he had been living a lie. On the eve before their 5th wedding anniversary, Emeka had decided to come home earlier than usual to surprise Chika with tickets to a luxury cruise, a gift he knew she would love. As he approached their bedroom, he heard her voice, low and conspiratorial, on the phone. Something about her tone made him stop to listen. Mama, are you sure this thing will work? Chika asked. Her mother's voice hissed on the other end. Trust me. Once you add the powder to anything he drinks, he'll be gone in seconds. Babalawo has never failed me. It's the same powder I used some years back to get rid of your useless father, she said with a soft laugh. Okay, Mama, I trust you. Chika replied, her voice filled with excitement. I can't wait for this man to be gone. I need my freedom. I want to finally live my life. He'll pass on tomorrow, her mother reassured her. Just follow my instructions. Make sure he drinks it. I will, Mama, Chika said with determination. Emeka felt the color drain from his face. The woman he had loved and sacrificed so much for was plotting his end. His heart broke, but a cold resolve settled in. If Chika wants me gone, he thought, I'll give her exactly what she's asking for. Emeka was a diligent man, spending most of his time at the hospital, working countless overtimes to provide the luxurious lifestyle Chika demanded. Years ago, his mother had convinced him that marrying Fumi was a bad idea. She warned that Fumi, having supported him so much, would always hold it over his head and seek to control him. Although he initially resisted, he eventually gave in to his mother's advice. Chika, who was younger and still in university when she was introduced to him, seemed like the perfect choice. Emeka funded her accountancy degree and even paid for her certification, yet she had never worked a single day. In fact, she outright refused to. Determined to keep her happy, Emeka worked tirelessly to afford the luxury she expected, content to meet her every demand. The next afternoon, after overhearing the diabolical conversation between Chika and her mother, Emeka returned home to find Chika had prepared an elaborate anniversary meal. She greeted him cheerfully, her eyes sparkling with excitement. Good afternoon, honey. Happy anniversary, she said, her voice unusually upbeat. Emeka smiled warmly. Good afternoon, my love. Happy anniversary to you too. You're looking especially stunning today. Oh, thank you, she replied, blushing. Chika urged him to freshen up before leading him to the table. She handed him a chilled glass of water, her eager eyes fixed on him. As Emeka raised the glass to his lips, he paused. Smiling, he said, Chika, go to the bedroom and check my bedside table. I have an anniversary present waiting for you. Excitement lit up Chika's face as she rushed to the bedroom. Once she was out of sight, Emeka poured the water into the sink, clutched his stomach, and fell to the ground, feigning unconsciousness. From the bedroom, he heard her squeal with joy upon discovering the cruise tickets he had left there. When she returned, she screamed, Honey, honey, what's wrong? Before kneeling beside him. Her feigned concern soon gave way to laughter. She kicked his stomach to check if he was truly gone. Confident he was no more, Chika began rummaging through drawers, humming to herself as she packed documents and valuables into a suitcase. Emeka's pulse quickened. Not only had she tried to eliminate him, but she was also plotting to rob him of everything he'd worked for. After she was done, she returned to the living room and sat casually on the couch and made a call. Emeka could hear a man's voice on the other end, but couldn't make out who it was, though it sounded familiar. Hello, my honey banana, she cooed sweetly. The fool is finally gone. Oh yes, I've practiced my crying. Trust me now. Okay, love, I'll be there in no time, the man replied. Emeka's heart raced, threatening to give out for real. The betrayal was too much to bear. Chika was having an affair, and he lay there silently, waiting to uncover the identity of her lover. It wasn't long before the doorbell rang, and Chika rushed to open it. Honey banana, what took you so long? Don't you know I need your banana? She purred seductively. The response sent chills down Emeka's spine. He recognized the voice instantly, and the weight of the betrayal hit him like a hammer. I'm sorry, love. Christmas is approaching and the traffic is insane. At one point, I wanted to park the car and fly over to you, the man said. Chika laughed hysterically, the kind of laughter she had never shared with Emeka. At that moment, he realized how blind he had been all this time. Chika led her lover, Kasim, to their bedroom, where their laughter soon turned to other sounds. Emeka lay there silently crying, his heart shattered. How had it come to this? When they were done in the bedroom, Kasim sauntered over to Emeka's lifeless form and spat on his supposed corpse. You old goat, Kasim sneered. I thought you'd never pass on. You've been strutting around like you own the world while sleeping with my woman all these years. Kasim wasn't just any man. He was Emeka's cousin, someone he had grown up under the same roof with. When Kasim was 5 years, his parents tragically passed on in a plane crash. Emeka's father, the elder brother of Kasim's father, had taken custody of him, as was expected in their family. Kasim's parents had left behind a considerable fortune, all entrusted to Emeka's father, who squandered every penny on women and alcohol instead of caring for his nephew. While Emeka went to school and lived a relatively comfortable life, Kasim was left behind to clean, cook, and run errands for the household. Emeka's father eventually passed on of alcohol poisoning, leaving his wife to clear their massive debts, which left them in abject poverty. After settling the finances, she tearfully explained to Kasim that she couldn't afford to send him to school either, and needed him to hawk goods to support the household. Kasim watched Emeka thrive academically while he struggled to survive, fostering a burning resentment that festered for years. His disdain deepened when he introduced Chika, his longtime girlfriend, to Emeka. Instead of staying loyal to Fumi, Emeka had dropped her and pursued Chika. Kasim's heartbreak turned into cold hatred, and from that day, he vowed to exact his revenge. Still, Emeka had remained oblivious. He genuinely loved Kasim like a brother and felt guilty for the injustices Kasim endured. That guilt drove him to set Kasim up with an auto spare parts business as soon as he could afford to. To Emeka, they were family, and Kasim's happiness mattered. Emeka even chose him as his best man at his wedding to Chika. As Kasim surveyed the scene, he turned to Chika and asked, "Have you packed everything?" She nodded, her eyes gleaming with satisfaction. "Good, let's go. But don't forget to call that bitter old woman of his. Let her discover the body. Oh, how I wish I could be a fly on the wall to see her face," Kasim said with glee. Chika chuckled. "Master planner, my honey banana extraordinaire. But before we leave, let's raise one final toast." She poured 2 glasses of champagne and handed one to Kasim. To new beginnings, they cheered, clinking their glasses before taking a sip. Moments later, Kasim's face twisted in pain. He began vomiting uncontrollably, staggering as the life drained from his body. He turned toward Chika, horror etched on his face. Chika stood calmly, a sinister smile curling her lips. "Oh, Kasim, did you think you were coming with me?" "No, darling, you are not. What kind of man gives the woman he loves to another to marry? You and Emeka deserve each other. Go meet him in hell." Kasim collapsed, his final word a feeble "Why?" before his body slumped onto Emeka. Just as Chika was about to leave, the doorbell rang. "Good mama's here," she muttered. "Took her long enough. Time to go. Adios, my loves," she said, blowing a kiss to the 2 men as she dragged her things to the door. When she opened the gate, however, her smile faltered. Standing there were 2 police officers, and between them was Mama Chika, her hands cuffed. Chika's eyes widened in shock and disbelief. "What's going on here? Why is my mother in handcuffs? Let her go. You have no right to do this." Before Chika could protest further, she heard a voice from behind that froze her in place. "Officers, take her away," Emeka's cold voice said. Chika's heart skipped a beat as she turned slowly. To her horror, Emeka stood there, his gaze unwavering. She fell to her knees, tears flooding down her face. I'm sorry, my love. I don't know what came over me. It was the devil. Please forgive me. But the officers didn't hesitate. They cuffed Chika and her mother before escorting them out, leaving Chika sobbing and begging for mercy. Once they were all gone, Emeka collapsed onto his couch, his hands on his head. The weight of the day settled heavily upon him. He was consumed with regret and disbelief. How had it all come to this? The betrayal, the lies, the heartbreak, it was too much to bear. He remembered Fumi's last words to him, a haunting reminder of his past mistakes. I leave you to God. The sorrow hit him like a tidal wave. His heart ached as he replayed the conversation he'd secretly recorded between Chika and her mother, which had been handed over to the police, leading to their arrest. Months later, Emeka, now a shell of the man he once was, walked through the mall, his mind heavy with the weight of his regrets. He spotted Fumi and her family in the crowd. They were laughing, radiant with happiness, and the sight made his heart ache even more. He quickly ducked behind a pillar, not daring to approach her. He was too ashamed, too broken to face her. Watching her happy, surrounded by her husband and children, tore him apart. Oh, Fumi, my loyal Fumi, I should never have let you go. Karma has come for me in the worst way possible. This should have been my life, he thought bitterly. I deserve nothing. Fumi, I'm glad you found happiness, even if it's without me. The story teaches the value of gratitude and loyalty, emphasizing the importance of honoring those who support you in tough times. It warns against the dangers of materialism and superficial relationships, urging discernment in choosing partners. Lastly, it highlights how betrayal and greed often lead to regret and destruction. Hi fam, thanks for watching and hope you enjoyed the story. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. We love hearing from you. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button so you don't miss any of your favorite African folk tales. Until next time, it's bye from us at Apenthene African Stories.